What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Special guest here. This is weird because we typically don't film videos together here at my house.
We do that at my house.
Yeah, but he came over to watch SmackDown.
I had off today.
Yeah, and so we decided we're going to film episode 4 of the WrestleRamble.
Yes.
And in this episode...
It's a special episode.
Yeah, we're talking about our wrestling fandom. What made us wrestling fans and what made us stick with wrestling through the good and bad times.
Let's start with... Well, okay, so how we should do this is, I think, we talk about what got us in wrestling first. We go take turns. Like, I'll start, then you go, and then we keep going to the thing.
Sure.
So let's start with how we got into wrestling. So, do you want me to start or do you want to start?
If you want to, go for it.
So, I don't exactly remember what... I know exactly what... I remember, like, two people from when I was, like, really little, when I was younger. It was John Cena and Kane. Those were the two I remembered.
Which was in 2012 or 2013?
No, this is before that.
Oh, before
when I was
okay.
even littler.
Oh, okay.
When I was, like, young, like, between, like, 6 and 10-ish. Like, I didn't know... I think I knew... Like, part of me...
Are you recording?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Like, part of me remembers, like, little bits. Like, I remember WrestleMania 23. I remember the Battle of the Billionaires when I was younger. And I remembered, like specifically, like, John Cena and Kane. And I loved John Cena. And then I remember... Then in 2013, in August night, my dad got SummerSlam 2013. Great show. I hold that show very special place in my heart because it's a good show. And it was, like... the main thing that got me, not back into wrestling, but like, really, it got me hook, line, and sinker, basically.
It kicked off the wrestling fan you are now.
Yeah, because I knew my favorite at the time was Cena, so I was like, oh, Cena's in the main event, cool. And I was excited, and then I watched the show, and I'm like, oh, I love this Dolph Ziggler guy, I love this CM Punk guy, he's fucking cool. Who's Brock Lesnar? He's badass as fuck.
And not only were you a Cena guy, but... he fought Daniel Bryan, a guy who you eventually became a huge fan of.
I eventually grew to like Bryan more than I liked Cena.
Yeah.
Like, and then I saw this Daniel Bryan guy and I was like, oh, this is cool, but I wanted Cena to win. And then when Cena didn't win, I was like, oh, okay. It was so awesome. That was like the first time in my life I was like legit, like it was that and the Brock and Punk match where I was like, oh my god, I love this match. I don't care who won. It was just so good.
Yeah.
And then Orton cashed in on Bryan. I was like, oh, I feel bad for this Daniel Bryan guy. Now I want to know what happens next. And it's fucking just, I got me there. And I was basically obsessed, and it led me to basically having, we had a trampoline at my dad's house, basically, and I always wanted to wrestle. So I just started wrestling my brothers and stuff. So, yeah, that's basically... And I haven't really stopped liking wrestling since. I joined the wrestling team in high school, middle school, high school, because I loved wrestling that much. And now, here I am, doing this.
Yep.
I've told this story so many times. People just kind of know. So how did you start in wrestling?
Long before you were born.
Yeah, literally. What year?
So, him and I are about 5 or 6 years apart. I was born...
I'm 22. You're 27.
I will be 27 in 2 days at the time of filming this.
Mm-hmm.
So October 97, I was born.
Mm-hmm.
Somewhere 98, I would say I became a fan. Because if you ask my parents, they will tell you I was watching wrestling before I started walking. Now, I don't remember that, obviously, but my parents would tell you that.
Mm-hmm.
So, my memory really picks up and kicks off right around 2001-ish, like the tail end, very tail end of the Attitude Era. And I kid you
right
not,
after it ended.
Well, because 2001, it was still Attitude Era-ish.
I consider Attitude Era ending at Maniac 7.
See, I don't consider I think Mania 18 to me was the final Attitude Era pay-per-view.
That's fair, honestly.
So, but yeah, so 2001-ish is where my memory really starts picking up and where I start to remember things. And I kid you not, my favorite match of all time, Kurt Angle versus Shane McMahon, is one of my earliest memories of watching wrestling. Maybe the earliest. Because I remember my aunt and uncle were babysitting for me. My uncle, who is still a massive wrestling fan, which I blame him for my fandom. Him and my aunt at the time, no longer my aunt now, but at the time were babysitting for me and my sister. The job my uncle had, he worked Sunday nights, so he couldn't watch the pay-per-views. So he would buy them and record them on a VHS tape. And because this was long before Peacock, long before
DVDs.
Yeah,
well,
DVDs.
Well, CDs existed,
yeah,
but not DVDs. Yeah.
But because this was 2001.
Yeah.
So he would buy the pay-per-views, but record them on a VHS tape and then watch them the next day on Monday before Raw, so he would know what's happening. And so he had a whole bookshelf filled with just a bunch of VHS tapes that he would always go back and watch. And I remember one day when he was babysitting for me and my sister, sitting on the couch next to him, watching Kurt Angle versus Shane McMahon. I was maybe 4 years old, and my eyes were glued to the TV. I don't think I blinked once. Dead serious, I don't think I blinked.
Because it was just so...
Yeah, and like, at that point, I don't remember seeing any other matches that violent. I mean, I'm sure I did, but again, my memory picks up right here. And then from there, I would see guys like The Undertaker, who was the American Badass at the time, and The Rock, and Stone Cold, and Kane, and Triple H, and all these guys. And I'm like, holy crap, this is just so cool. And then we get into the Ruthless Aggression era, which for me is my personal favorite era. And just, you get a whole new crop of guys. Brock Lesnar,
Batista, Orton,
Cena,
all of those guys.
Brock Lesnar, Shelton Benjamin. Like, yeah, just Edge. Edge was an Attitude Era guy, but he really hit his prime and his stride in the Ruthless Aggression. And just so much stuff, so many interesting characters that I loved and had become massive fan of all of them. And that kind of just stuck with me, and I just
didn't stop.
Yeah, it just,
yeah.
The more years that went on, the bigger and bigger of a fan I became.
Yeah, and now here you are, how many years later? God, both of us 20 plus years later.
Yeah.
Just loving wrestling. Yeah. So what was the next part?
So we told our fandom. Now we'll basically explain just why we stuck with wrestling through all the bad times like 2019 and all those bad years. Why we stuck with it.
Why are we still wrestling fans? Because there are a lot of people who are like, oh, why do you like wrestling? You know it's fake, right? I'm like, first off, if you like TV, if you like sitcoms, if you like soap operas, especially.
Movies are fake. TVs are fake. It's no different than that.
Yeah, but it's fun. It's just fun to watch, and it draw in. Like, early this year, when Cody won the title, I cried, because I was just like, I know you're not the kind of person to cry at wrestling, but like, it gets you really emotional,
man. Only 2 moments in the history of pro wrestling have made me cry. When Edge retired and when Edge returned. That's it. I'm not kidding. Literally
now,
not
kidding.
kidding.
Now when CM Punk came back, we were just flipping out.
Yeah, go watch that.
Yeah, we get extreme reaction. That was a whole video, actually.
Yeah, well, still.
Yeah,
go watch that.
Like, wrestling is entertainment.
That's what the E stands for in WWE. Entertainment.
And these people are just so fun to watch, and when you meet them, they're just...
Well, and I think what helped 2019 in particular is that's kind of when pro wrestling outside of WWE really started to take off.
I think it was right before then. It was like 2017, 2018.
Yeah, before that, but it helped because in 2019, if WWE was the only form of pro wrestling and we didn't have TNA, AEW, the Indies, whatever, I don't know if I'd have stuck with it because though I don't watch a whole lot of pro wrestling outside of WWE now, that's kind of when I started doing it was 2019.
See,
because WWE was just so bad at the time.
I started earlier. I started like 2016, something like that. Because I found TNA Impact. I watched that.
Yeah, I watched TNA back in the day, like 2007, 8, 9, 10. And then when Hogan took over, I'm like, this is dumb, and I quit watching it.
One of the first things that really got me into outside of WWE was WCPW, actually.
Yes.
Like, that was... Because I watched Well Culture already at that point, and I was like... oh, this is cool, and a bunch of new guys I didn't know about, and I was like, oh my god. It's where I first saw people like Joe Hendry, Jay Lethal, fucking Will Ospreay, for fuck's sake.
See, my introduction to Jay Lethal was TNA back in the day, 2007.
Yeah, because he was X Division guy.
Well, but even back then, we had guys like Xavier Woods when he was Consequences Creed, and we had Kurt Angle, and the Main Event Mafia, and...
I didn't grow up with TNA, so I...
To me, the Main Event Mafia is maybe not the best faction ever outside of WWE, but it's top 5 for sure.
Yeah,
I loved the Main Event Mafia. And yeah, that old school TNA from 2006 to 2010.
Maybe even earlier. Like 2002, that really old TNA to like 2010. Like that.
Yeah, but I mainly only watched like 2006 through 2010.
Fair.
And then I stopped for years until just recently.
Because they got recently good again?
Yeah, like right before the pandemic, I started tuning in and paying attention a bit more.
Yeah.
But
like, especially when... But yeah. But like, what kept you going through the bad things? Like, what are you... like?
That's just it. I was able to watch other
things.
Other types of pro
I watched
wrestling.
Ring of Honor. I watched Impact. I watched...
When one was bad, I wouldn't watch much of that, and I would watch other things.
One of the things that got me through really bad WWE, for me, was something in WWE, but just smaller. NXT.
Yes.
NXT Black and Gold really helped me through those rough years in WWE.
And
like 2016 to 2019.
Yeah, and again, 2019, maybe the worst year in WWE in recent memory.
But 2019 was also one of the best years for NXT.
Yeah, but even on the main roster, it sucked, but it had some good stuff. It wasn't
The
completely
Fiend
bad.
and Becky Lynch.
Yeah.
And that was literally it.
Well... Daniel Bryan, AJ Styles had a feud there.
That was 2020.
No.
Was that 2019?
They fought each other at the
that was
2018
2018.
Rumble. Yeah, but they fought at the 2019
Kofi Mania.
Kofi Mania, yes. So, 2019 had a few good things, but not very many.
You gotta do a whole WrestleRamble.
Yeah.
Because I feel like you have more hatred for it than I do.
Yeah, there will be a future WrestleRamble on the worst years in wrestling, particularly 2019.
2003.
Yeah, but
2000.
That was early on in my fandom, and though
the nostalgia's strong.
Yeah.
Even though 2003 was a great year for SmackDown, Raw was not.
No, but so there will be a future WrestleRamble on all of that. My hatred towards those years and why they were all bad, and
then AEW came out. Which they're not doing great now.
No.
Like, at all. Like, I'm not even gonna watch Dynasty, even though it might be...
Didn't this last Collision only get like 239,000 viewers or something like that?
Yeah. Like, it's bad, and the whole, like, Lucha Bros thing really just fucking...
No.
And it's just, like, good on them for getting a TV deal, but, like...
Yeah.
Ugh, man. Oh, is this gonna be... Another thing that weirdly, like... that kept me like keep me like wrestling was like our friendship basically.
Yeah, that too. Because
like it was nice to have someone to talk to about it.
Yeah. Well, because we've been friends now for over
10 years.
Over 11 years.
Is it over 11?
Yes.
Almost 12. Yeah.
And I mean, I've told the story before. I saw him in my backyard here dropping stunners on neighbor kids, and that's what made us become friends.
Yeah, and then we just kept hanging out more and more.
Yeah.
And we still hang out, even when I moved.
Obviously, we still hang out. He's here. My place.
I'm here for every Big 4 pay-per-view.
Pretty much, and some SmackDowns, just like...
Because I have free time on Fridays. Yeah. Oops.
But, yeah. There anything else you want to add?
Have there been times where you almost, like, legit considered, like, stopping watching wrestling?
No, not really.
Not even during 2020?
No, because 2020, though it sucked...
There wasn't anything else.
No, but that's kind of when I started going back and watching all of the old stuff that I either didn't remember or that I just missed and never saw.
What did I do?
On, like, Peacock and stuff.
I just played a lot of Pokemon.
Like, and I watched Raw and SmackDown back in the day, but around 2010 or so, I stopped. And I didn't watch Raw or SmackDown weekly. I'd watch it a couple times a year here and there, but I didn't watch it
sometimes.
I didn't watch it weekly at all until 2021 when they returned from the Thunderdome. That's when I went back to watching it weekly every single week.
I haven't watched WWE Raw SmackDown live consistently since like 20. Thought almost.
Yeah. Well, you can't watch it live now, but you do tune in and watch like highlights and
on
clips
YouTube.
and stuff.
Yeah. And when it goes on Peacock, I check it out.
Yeah, which in fact I just recently rewatched the Raw we went to a couple months ago.
How was it? Oh my gosh.
It's fun when you're there live, but it's better when you have commentary over the matches because it's weird watching a match when you don't have commentary.
Yeah, but you have us to talk to. You have me.
I know, but. And though I enjoyed that, it's weird watching a match when there's no commentary.
He'll get used to it.
I know.
When we go to more wrestling shows, you'll love it even more. Because I'm going to take him to more wrestling shows, whether he wants to or not.
Yeah. SmackDown's going to be in Milwaukee in about a month.
Zach, don't you even tempt me with that because you know I would do it.
It was announced Roman Reigns will be there. No, don't do it. Don't. Anyway, back on track.
But yeah, yeah, there really hasn't been a time where I considered stop watching because I just even in like 2019, like yeah, it sucked. But like I was just I was also really busy at that time because that was like 2019, 2020 was like when I graduated high school and I was really trying to like focus on my studies.
Yeah, you graduated during the pandemic.
Yeah, it was fucking weird. But yeah, and then
and
the channel that really helped too. Because we started the channel in 2019. That's right.
Yeah, we did.
So I did that for so much because most of the matches were in 2019.
Yeah,
like over half. Because I loved it so much, and I just was like,
I
was basically fuck the product now. I could do it better. That's what I thought at the time.
Well, but at that time, that's when we would take 3-4 month breaks in between videos.
No, we wouldn't even do that then.
We did that a couple times. Where we had
between videos. I thought you meant between matches.
No, between videos.
Yeah,
we did that.
We did that until like last year.
Yeah, the weekly thing started when we started the WrestleMania reviews.
Which I still think is the best decision we ever made for this channel.
Which was my idea.
Yeah, it was his idea. I'll give him full credit for that. But then we decided, hey, let's do pay-per-view reviews every week.
Yeah.
Or just, if we're not a pay-per-view, if we ever needed a pay-per-view review, and we wanted to take a break from that, it'd be like, I got videos in the backlog, just waiting to go live.
Yeah, he filmed stuff when we went to Raw that he still hasn't posted.
Hey, I'm having issues, okay? Just, I've never edited in my life. I'm basically learning while working.
Don't edit, just post each clip individually here and there and have a bunch of separate tiny videos.
Okay. But yeah, anything else you want to add about just you as a wrestling fan?
See, it helps now. 2024. Wrestling as a whole is better than it's been in years.
Yeah.
And so now
Despite
helps,
AEW.
it helps staying a wrestling fan.
When the product is good,
Yeah.
there's a part of me that misses.
Because
I don't know.
I think I stated this in my WrestleRamble about the pay-per-view match cards. I pretty much love almost everything that Triple H has done since he's taken over, except the match cards and a few other minor things.
Booking of the women's division, booking of the tag team division.
Yeah.
Not enough colored people on the product.
Other than that, overall, WWE is better since Triple H
And they fixed NXT.
took over. And yeah, it's helped since he's taken over for sure. It's helped stay a wrestling fan.
And with Raw coming to Netflix,
Yeah.
I might be able to actually watch Raw.
Yeah.
Because I have Netflix.
I just got Netflix a couple weeks ago and watched the Vince doc, and I was going to do a WrestleRamble on that, and I have not yet.
You could.
So that will come soon too.
Yeah, you do that. No, I won't. I won't take part of that because I'm just going to be cussing the whole time.
You would be too. Because your middle name is legally Rant. Or it should be.
Yeah.
Anyway, is that it, or you got something else?
Being a wrestling fan's great. Except for one thing. But I think that's a thing we'll say for a different WrestleRamble. The IWC.
Oh. Yeah.
But that's for a separate video. Unless...
Nah, I can say a separate video.
Yeah. Alright.
Well, that was episode 4.
Of WrestleRamble. It was just us rambling. Literally, it's just a ramble.
Well, yeah, it's the only show where we ramble about wrestling.
I mean, I ramble during my reviews, but still.
Oh, yeah, me too. Which, go watch my Bad Blood one.
Yeah.
Watch his Extreme Rules one coming up in a couple days.
I'm watching it either tonight or tomorrow, maybe. Who knows? Because I ain't watching fucking Dynasty. Did I say Dynasty?
Yeah.
WrestleDream. And look, it might be Danielson's last match, but like, I don't want to buy him a card that I don't give a shit about.
Don't.
I don't want to miss Danielson's last match.
I'm sure you'll be able to find a bad quality version on YouTube or something. So.
Yeah. Alright.
Oh, alright, well.
Thank you guys for watching.
Yep, that's about it. Stay tuned for more.
Mm-hmm.
See you guys soon.
Peace.
Camera's too far away.